YouTuber Star Wars Theory has threatened legal action against Wookieepedia after the online Star Wars encyclopedia has claimed that he was encouraging his followers to send death threats. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com. And it all started here with this ex user, Ash Rendar. She accused Star Wars Theory of sending his followers to issue death threats in a now deleted post. This is what she wrote. Hey, Star Wars Theory, these are your people sending death threats. Time to rein them in, condemn what they are doing. Time to put your money where your mouth is and back up your be respectful spiel you always say. She added, and don't use your I don't control my community excuse. Theory responded to this on X. He said politely, F yourself. These aren't my people. Don't attach that to me, or there will be serious consequences for you. These are people on their own, nothing to do with me. Please find where I have instructed people to send death threats to anyone. Quite the opposite. In fact, 8 years I've taken death and R threats to my past partners, poison threats to my mailbox, threats to my parents and animals, daily, non-stop. First for liking episode 9, then when I changed my mind. Where the F was anyone then? Where the F were you when I was being laughed at for crying to Luke Skywalker? You joined in. In fact, alongside Pablo, he's referring to Pablo Hidalgo and Lucasfilm taking jabs at me publicly. That's how it was handled, and I just have to take it because that's what I do. He continued, bullied as a kid for liking Star Wars, and then again as an adult. I've taken so much abuse from you psychotic people that I've had enough. F yourself and deal with crap on your own like I had to. Stop blaming me for other people's actions, you moron. In a follow up, he wrote this. I'm so effing tired of people trying to constantly cry to me for other people's actions when they just throw the most disgusting hate towards me, my parents, my appearance, and my views just because I made a Star Wars YouTube channel. What about the dude who said I should have died of cancer instead of surviving it? Boo boo me. No, grow a pair and move on. It's the internet. Piss off and leave me alone. He then added this. Here's one story for you. My dad gets blocked calls from different guys telling him how they're going to brutally murder his son when he travels unless he publicly supports the sequels. Welcome to day 1 of 8 more years of effed up stories. Shall I blame you and Disney? It's your people after all. Reel them in. Piss off. Then we had this post from Cyborg Rose 9917. She wrote this. Don't act like some of your community isn't toxic. If you just say you don't condone death threats on anybody, including yourself, that would be enough. No one deserves a death threat. So this is after he's already kind of posted all this stuff, indicating that he's done this numerous times. So clearly this person is doing this on purpose to try and goad him. But he does respond to her. And he says, how many times do I have to condemn those actions? How many videos? How many tweets? I have over 3,100 videos on YouTube alone. And in so many live streams and standalone videos, I've condemned this behavior. I get it more than anyone, both publicly and behind the scenes for years from people just like you. I don't want others to get it. They aren't able to ignore it. And many get destroyed by the fear of it. A former ex of mine many years ago refused to travel with me after having one of your types of people send me photos of her with red X's through it, describing the explicit things they do to her before they ended her life. They found her house, her job, her gym. You have no idea the abuse I've seen and taken from you people. And because I'm a man, no one gives a crap, and that's fine. I have to be a man about it. He then added this. People who know me and support me know what I preach and have heard me condemn this behavior for years. It's people like you who don't know me and treat me like I'm supporting and encouraging this behavior to win an argument when I have no damn clue what every corner of the internet talks about. I tweet and go back to my business. I don't stay online and sip the tea. I don't have the luxury of time. Like I said, no one gets those more than me. You're preaching to the choir. No one deserves death threats. Not you, me, or anyone. Stop connecting me to this trash. Nevertheless, people still continue to connect him to this disgusting behavior because sending death threats is wrong. No one should be doing that. So Pete Fletzer, he posted this. It's time that Theory uses his platform, his reach, and his influence to denounce the threats and the attacks with the largest voice in the Star Wars community, simply casually covering his own, but with remember, be respectful doesn't cut it. Silence is endorsement. These people are just absolutely lying. He literally just went on and condemned this stuff. He's clearly done this before in multiple videos, done it up before on X as well. These people probably know all of this stuff. They're literally just trying to gaslight their own followers in order to think that he's somehow responsible for this stuff. It's truly sick. It's really evil stuff here, and they are indeed trying to tie him to this stuff. And it's just absolutely wrong. And he's clearly not being silent. We just read that he wasn't. And then we had this. This is what the official Wookieepedia account responded to this Pete Fletzer guy. And it wrote this. It's telling that we didn't get any threats until immediately after he told his followers to fix Wookieepedia. The ones that came to vandalize the site from that are the ones we got threats from. So I haven't seen any threats targeted at Wookieepedia. They've claimed they've received all of these threats. They haven't posted any of them. And when they've been asked to post stuff, they said they're not going to do it. So who knows if they've even got any of these threats. They make a bunch of virtue signals. We know that this whole website now is a giant virtue signal. They put pronouns. They claim that Luke Skywalker is gay. It's all run by woke activists now. The company's owned by Fandom and private equity firm TPG Inc. So clearly just pushing the woke agenda. And we see how they do this. They do this obviously through the control of information, this encyclopedia being one of those points of control, because we see that with Wookieepedia as well, probably a bigger example of that. But this is what Star Wars Theory had to say. He kind of went over how he's just sick of all this stuff and is disgusted by all of the death threats and saying no one should be sending any death threats. And he kind of addresses all of that stuff. But then he gets to this point here. He says, I remember reading a Forbes article about Wookieepedia. They do, if I'm not mistaken, it's online somewhere. You can find it back in 2015 or whatever it was. They do 120 million. It's online, 120 million page visits a month, which is insane as websites pay like 10 times YouTube. 120 million, and that was 2015. I mean, maybe I'm getting the numbers wrong, but it was something ridiculous enough for Forbes to make an article about it. An entire article for them. So of those 120 million people, you're going to tell me that people that are pissed, it's all from my fan base. No, dude, you got like, what is that? 50 times, literally 50 times my entire subscriber base you get in views per month. So why are people pissed? They're pissed because Wookieepedia literally edited the birth year of Ki-Adi-Mundi to recognize the retcon in the Acolyte. So there is numerous canon sources based on episode 1 that indicate that Ki-Adi-Mundi was born in the year 92 or around the year 93 Battle Before Yavin, because he was 60 years old at the time of the events of the Phantom Menace. And that would indicate that he was born around 92, 93. There's even a Topps card from the Phantom Menace that says that he was born in the year 92. But now, given the fact that he appears in the Acolyte in the year like 132 BBY, which is before he would be born, the Wookieepedia and their editors began updating the website to claim that he was alive then, even though he wasn't even born. It is a massive, massive contradiction, and people were not happy about it. And a number of editors at Wookieepedia began banning other people who were actually trying to accurately update the site. And so you can see how it's kind of controlled by woke activists. But then Theory went on and said this here. He says, please do not make these claims. I run at this point a very serious company who handles a lot of different jobs and tasks, and I do not appreciate the slander that you are throwing towards my company. If you continue to lie and purport that my company is sending you death threats or reporting my followers to send you death threats, I will take legal action against you. Do not like that defamation. You are quite a big presence. You're not a little shrimp fry on Twitter with a couple followers. If you continue, I will file a lawsuit against you, telling you right now. So he definitely threatened legal action against them, saying he would file a lawsuit against them if they continued with their behavior, and implying and accusing him of sending people to send them death threats. which is good. He should be doing this. These people will continue to spew these lies until they are made to pay the consequences in legal repercussions. Theory went on and said this. That being said, I do not condone death threats. I've never sent fans against anybody to send death threats. People have free will, just like they're sent towards me. They can be sent towards anybody. People are a-holes. There's a-hole people everywhere. I can't control that. All I can do is say, be respectful. What do you think that means? Be respectful, but hey, send death threats. He then reiterated this. He said, I'd appreciate it if you and anyone else trying to defame my company would stop. If you persist, we can take it from there. You know, you did something that people didn't like. I know firsthand when you do stuff like that, people will have a reaction. It's on the internet. So that's it. That's all I got to say about it. Obviously, referring to the editing they did with Ki Adimundi. So didn't want to have to make a statement, upload a video about it, but you know, it's now to the point where you're slandering my company and I want to this is the first step. I take these things very seriously, especially with a brand of your size. So hey, all the best. And then he addressed his viewers. He says, "Guys, don't send anybody death threats. If you want to argue something, do so respectfully as I've said millions of times, and that is also documented as well for the public and potentially the courts. So have a great day. May the force be with you. Love you all." So I'm glad that Theory is taking this position. Enough of these woke activists spreading lies, trying to accuse people of all kinds of sick and evil things when it's obvious they have no attachment to this. They do not encourage it. They actively condemn it. Yet these people continue to lie, continue to push their evil narrative to try and bring someone down, all because they disagree with their opinion about Star Wars. And it's not just their opinion, they actively are promoting and encouraging the evil agenda that Disney Star Wars is pushing now. And that agenda is the gay agenda. It is the LGBTQ plus agenda. It is the woke agenda. It is the feminist agenda. It is all over all of the things that they are pushing. It is the transgender agenda. We know that because they're putting that in the children's programming for their Disney Junior Star Wars shows as well that we've covered here on the channel. And Wookieepedia carries the water for Disney Lucasfilm, and they do it through this encyclopedia, and they're trying to push that agenda, and they are going to attack anyone who does not like that agenda, even if it's just saying this show sucks or it's absolutely terrible, it breaks canon, etc., which appears to be kind of what Star Wars Theory does, at least from the videos that I've seen him discuss Star Wars about. But let me know what you guys make of what Star Wars Theory has done here, his threat of legal action. I applaud him for doing this. I encourage others to follow in his suit if Wookieepedia tries to pull something on them as well. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, but to always speak the truth.